last time we met, you mentioned you'd been feeling a little anxious and had symptoms of anxiety and a little down and felt like your life was stuck in a rut. How have those feelings been since the last time we've met?
They're still there. They're a little less since I've connected with my children a little bit more, but I still have the anxiety about my job and whether or not I should pursue that, and the feelings about my husband and not wanting him to leave. So it's still there. I've still been having pretty bad issues with it. It's a little bit less than it was.
Is that something that you've brought up with your husband yet? Because I know we discussed it last time, but we didn't really set a plan in place, so I didn't know if you had brought it up on your own or...
I did have a small conversation with him about it. Basically just told him that I want to make some changes soon, or talked about the job and taking that and what kind of changes that would bring. And he's pretty hesitant, but I think after having a few conversations about it, he might come around to it, which that's been helpful.
Did he display anything else other than hesitancy?
He was kind of reluctant, he kind of brought up the fact that I wouldn't be around the house as much, and just didn't seem, he didn't fully seem like he was on board with it. But.
So, do you think that after, I know you mentioned about having a few conversations, he might come around to it. Do you plan on approaching that any differently?
I think I'm just going to slowly open up the idea more as I speak to him and kind of make it more clear as it goes on that this is something that I really want, kind of just introducing him to the idea at this point. But as time goes on, I'll kind of make it more apparent that this is something that I might need in my life.
I think that'll be a good place to start, definitely. To show him, that you have needs and you have wants too. I know sometimes messing up the family dynamic is not easy, but the kids are getting older, so it would be easier for them to fly, leave the nest, and easier for you to go back to work. Do you think that if your husband is accepting of you taking this job, it will help with your anxiety and other issues?
I definitely think that would help a lot, because that's one of my main worries is about my husband and our relationship. So I feel like if he accepted me moving on to this job, that it would help out a lot with my anxiety and help me sleep a little better at night.
That's good. I know you mentioned last time we met that your family was pretty critical growing up. Do you think that's something that contributes to these anxiety issues, or is that something you were able to work past already?
It's definitely not the forefront of my anxiety, but it is in the back of my mind a lot, so that is probably definitely something I'm going to have to work through and get past. But it's definitely a source of some of that deep-rooted. It's just more of a deep-rooted.
Right. And I know a lot of times when people feel anxious or depressed, they might not exactly know why, or they could think it's something that's currently happening that day, but it could be something that's unconscious that you don't know about. So I want to do an exercise. Is that okay with you?
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say a word, and when I say this word, I want you to tell me the first thing that pops into your head. Don't put too much thought behind it. Don't, overanalyze it. Just when I say this word, it can be a phrase, it can be a word countering that word. Just the first thing, a phrase or two even. Just the first thing that pops in your head when I say these words. Is that okay with you?
Yes.
The first word will be family.
Love and support, kind of protection.
Relationship.
Disconnection. And kind of distance.
Work.
There's an uncertainty there.
What about home life?
Discombobulated. Opposite ends of the spectrum. Connection and disconnection.
Okay, I think that went really great, and that kind of can give you some insight on maybe why you're feeling so anxious, because hearing those words that popped into your brain immediately, did that, show you anything that you thought you might be missing, like why you're feeling this way?
Yeah, it definitely opened some doors. I feel like there's definitely some relationships that I need to work on and establish a more secure connection